Hello, my dear students. Welcome to the class of 10th English Medium. Our subject is Social Science, and today we are going to discuss chapter number 20, Social Problems of India and Challenges. Yes, my dear students, we have completed chapters from 1 to 19. We have completed the history portion, the geography portion, and the economics portion. Now we are moving forward with somewhat civics portion, or we can say that something which is related with the social system of our nation. Okay. Uh, we have already completed human development, which was a part of economics as well as our nation society. Now we are going full-fledged towards the social problems of India and the challenges faced due to that. Now we know that India is a country with huge population and the largest democracy. Here, people of different religions, languages, cultures live together. Okay, the coordinating cultures and secularism are its characteristic. Indian society is changing from traditional to modern society, but with this, many problems have originated in our Indian culture. The main two problems which we face today in India is communalism and casteism. We will understand what is this in a short period of time. Many people of India belonging to different religion, caste, language collectively work together to struggle for freedom, and due to their efforts we created a kind of a unity, harmony or tolerance, a religious or a cultural tolerance among ourselves in the past. But all of this tolerance and all of this harmony with the passage of time after independence has withered away, have crumbled, or we can say have weakened. Today we come across some negative factors which hinder the peace and progress, such as communal conflicts, caste-based quarrels, regional violence, etc. Let's start with the communalism. Now, a religion which mostly everyone practices, whether it's Vedic religion or Jain religion or Buddhist religion or Muslim or Sikh or Christian or Jew or Parsi, there are so many religions in the world. Mostly everyone practices one or another religion. Generally, every person follows one of these religions, but India is a secular country. Uh, Therefore, the communal behavior is against the spirit of constitution. Now, let me clarify. A secular country means that no particular religion is the important one. Everyone can practice their own religion without disturbing the religion of others. That's kind of a secular country which does not give uh, importance to any particular religion. But when a group of people or religion oppose other religion or sect due to any reason, communal tension arises. And when any religion or caste or sect try to show superiority of their religion in comparison with other religion or sects, that creates a communal riots, and that kind of a mentality where every citizen sees other citizen not as an individual but from a religious or caste perspective, we call that communal perspective, and we call that communalism. So communalism basically means that people, rather than just following their own religion, they want others to follow their own religions, or they want to impose their own ideas on other people. Then it becomes a communalism, and that is not good. Even after so many years of independence, we have not been able to solve the problems of communalism. It is very harmful in very different ways. It leads to social tension in the country. People consider their own friends as enemies or rivals because they belong to another community or a caste or a sect or a religion, because of which atmosphere of difference and hatred is created. Communal tension leads to communal riots or quarrels. All these things are harmful for democracy, national integrity, and development of nation. So, what can we do for eradicating this communal perspective or communal thoughts or this communalism? First of all, government should take actions against communal elements to eradicate communalism from the society. That is, government should start by taking action against people who try to spread these communal elements. Education is also another important aspect where we can teach students to be uh, tolerant towards all the communities, all the sects, all the religions, all the castes. As we can see, when we are studying, when we are educating our children, the prayers of all the religions, the stories based from all the religions are taught. This kind of creates a harmonious environment between the children. But this needs to be better, this needs to improve so that children from their childhood learn to live in harmony with others and they develop respect for all the religions. Political party based on communal ideas should not be given recognition. So any political party which is based on the idea of community should not be given recognition. But sadly, almost not a single party in our India is secular. All of the parties are communal based because they all follow certain mentality of a community, whether it's Muslim or Christian or Hindu, doesn't matter. All of them follow certain mentality, certain communal mentalities. Radio, TV, cinema are the best audiovisual ad to reach to common people. Through them, message of secularism, tolerance should be spread. Such type of programs should be telecasted which promote national interest and nationalism. For the progress of nation, religious leaders and political leaders should work together to combat the problem of communalism. Youth must come forward to remove communalism. At the social and educational level, it should be tried that youth develops secular and scientific attitude. Only government should not be there in removal of communalism. Even the society, you, me, all of us should try to remove this communalist mentality. Understanding the fact that national interest, national pride are above religion, caste, state, or language ties the people in one thread. That means we should believe that our nation is above everything. And if everyone believes that, then this communalist mentality will be reduced in people. The second biggest problem in India, in this society, that is casteism. Now, caste, we can say that every one of us belongs to certain caste. Now, there are too many major types of caste and subtypes and its subtypes. It's just numerous. Whether it's Hindu or Muslim or Christian, everyone has some caste in them in India. Caste have been existing in the social system of India since the birth. That means it's since time immemorial, since the beginning of India, caste system has been there. Thus, we may say that India's social structure is based on casteism. Earlier concept of casteism was considered different from what it is today. Casteism was established to fulfill the basic needs of the society where task based communities were created. That means communities were created on basis of the work they did, not on the basis of the home they were born in. That was the initial approach towards the casteism. That means the person who does the work of trading was known as Vanyas or Vaniks rather than the person who was born in the home of a Vanik. So uh, that is what it means, that the person who speaks or learns the Vedas and studies were known as Brahmins, and those who did the Shastra parts and pujas, not just by giving a birth in the home of a Brahmin, did it mean that they will be Brahmin themselves. So, by work and by occupation, they were known as castes rather than by birth. Varna system, that is Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, were based on four occupations, and the dwelling arrangements, occupations, and incomes were all based on this caste or based on their occupation. But the problem was that certain occupations earned less income than other. For example, usually Shudras earned a lot less income than Vaishyas. So, in that sense, the caste of Shudra remained economically backward compared to Vaishya or Kshatriyas, you can say. So naturally, there were some inequalities between them. Before the period of British rule, some communities were living in isolated life, that is, far from regular cities or villages. Rather, they lived inside the forest, in the regions where it was not easy to reach, like inaccessible forest and mountainous regions. Social and cultural life of these communities were different from others. They had their own prominent culture and language. Because of living separately from generation to generation, people of these communities could not develop. As a result of it, the economic and social condition has remained backward. Constitutional provision for protection of interest of minorities, weak and backward classes. So, special constitutional provisions for the purpose of saving or protecting the minorities, the weak and the backward classes. Now, when I talk about minorities and weak and backward classes, they need certain protections. We will discuss it. Welfare and progress of minorities, weaker section and backward classes. What our India has done for that. Indian constitution grants equal social, economic and political justice to all of them. According to our constitution, no discrimination is there based on community, caste, religion, language, gender, etc. Also, uh, state has the power that they may discharge the duties as a welfare state. That means state has the power to provide welfare to the needy communities, caste or those in the minorities or those in the below poverty line. Also, it can impose certain restrictions on our fundamental rights to protect weaker and backward class of the society. So our fundamental right of equality can be restricted, our fundamental right of movement can be restricted if our state government wants to do so. The right to religion gives freedom to follow any religion, and our objective of constitution is to help minorities, weaker section and backward classes. The objective for providing help to them is to give them equal opportunities, justice, and status in the countries. Usually, the minorities and weaker section struggle to even achieve a regular education, which most of the people in India take for granted. So they have been given special economic help and reservations and all that, so that they can at least reach to our equal levels, and then they can study ahead. Care is taken for these classes in the 5-year plans also. We will talk about minorities now. Now, there is no specific definition of minorities in the Constitution of India, but minority is such a group of people which is not in majority with regards to a region or a state or a nation. So, for example, if in our nation Hindu are majority, then all other religions are considered minority, that is Buddhist religion, Jainism, Sikhism, Islamism, Christianism, Judaism, uh, Parsis, all of these religions or sects or communities are considered in minority. Hindus are in majority at a national level. But if we talk about Kashmir, then in Kashmir, Muslims are in majority and Hindus are in minority. So in Kashmir, Hindus will be considered minority, considering the state of Kashmir only. So and even on the basis of villages or districts or cities, we can consider this kind of things, that on each district level, which community is in the minority. So regions, state, and national. These are the three levels at which minorities can be considered. Uh, a group of people forming less than half of the total population of a region or a state or a country can be called minority. It is not restricted to only a religion or a language or region. Just at national level, the local and regional minorities are taken into account at the state level also. That is why the concept of minority at national level differs from the state level. That is, for example, if Muslims are in minority at the national level, they are not necessarily in minority in each and every state. In certain states, Muslims are in majority. Similarly, if Hindus are in majority at national level, not necessarily it means that they are at majority in all the states. In certain states, they are even in the minority. So, same thing can be applied to all the communities in India. In India, minorities share equal rights with the majority. Moreover, special provisions have been made in the constitution to protect and encourage the religion, language, culture, script, etc. A national minority commission has been set up for protecting the rights, interests, welfare for the progress of minorities. Right to religion, especially to minorities, assure that they can make propaganda to spread and propagate their religion. That means minorities have been given the right that they can make efforts to spread their own religion. Now, there is a law which does not approve of forceful conversion. So, there is a law that you can't forcefully convert a person from one religion to another. But if he or she wants to convert with free will, then they can do so. Any educational institution which takes a government grant cannot teach religious teachings. That means if we are taking a government grant, then we can't teach religious teachings to the students because government is a secular and therefore we can't teach any particular religion by taking government's money. Minorities have the right to preserve their script and culture because they are in minority, they are less in numbers, though they have the right to preserve their scripts and educational right. Any educational institution receiving government grants cannot refuse an admission on the basis of religion, race, caste, color, or language. All the sections of the society have a right to retain and develop a language and script of their own choice. That means every society, every culture can develop their own language, their own script, their own literature if they so want, to establish and run educational institution for protection and growth of their culture. So for example, if Buddhist people are in minority and they want to protect their culture, so they can establish education institutions of their own in which they can teach their own syllabus to their own children so that their children can study the Buddhist literature, the Buddhist culture, and they can move it forward towards the next generation. And this same thing applies to all the minority religions or cultures in the India. Actually, not just a minority, actually, this applies to even the Vedic or Hindu religion. They can also establish their own pathshalas and ashrams and teach Vedas to their disciples. So it applies to everyone. The state government provides facilities to get the primary education in their mother tongue to the children of the minority. Scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Now, this is an important point of this chapter. It's quite a big point. There is not a clear-cut definition of who are the part of scheduled castes and who are the parts of scheduled tribes, but the president of the India can advise the governor of the respective states based on which communities or castes or sects or religions to be included in the scheduled caste, that is SC, and scheduled tribes, that is ST. Basically, this constitutional provision has been made to prevent caste-based exploitation and to wipe out the injustice to them through equality and fraternity. Basically, in my personal opinion, I am not sure why they are doing this, but let's not go into that deeper. And to see that they progress socially, economically, politically, and educationally. According to Article 341, those castes included in this schedule are called scheduled castes. So basically, there is an Article 341 in which the list of communities are there, and those communities are considered scheduled caste. So there is no specific definition. Any community which is a part of this Article 341 is called scheduled caste. It's simple as that. So if your community is a part of that Article 341, which I think you can Google it, it is open for public. So if your community is part of this Article 341, then you can be considered a scheduled caste. Similarly, those castes which are included in the schedule of Article 342. So in the Article 342, if your community is a part of this article, then you are called scheduled tribe. So for scheduled caste, we have the Article 341, and for scheduled tribe, we have the Article 342. So the people who live mostly in the forest areas and mountainous regions are included among scheduled tribes. So scheduled caste are basically backward, or usually economically backward, or socially backward people, communities. So for the purpose of giving them equality, they are included in the scheduled castes. And the tribal people who usually live in the interior forest areas or mountainous regions, who usually don't have much of a connection with the regular society. So to provide them with enough encouragement and economical and societal support for the purpose of their development, they are included in the scheduled tribes. They live in specific geographical conditions and live a different social and cultural life as compared to others. These people are usually economically and educationally backward. So, Constitution has made certain provisions for the purpose of the development of these scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. General provisions. These general provisions not only apply to scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, they apply to each and every individual of India. According to Article 15, discrimination on the basis of religion, community, caste, birthplace, etc. is restricted. That means we can't discriminate against people based on their religion, their caste, their community, and where they were born. We can't discriminate basically. We can't stop anyone from entering shops, public restaurants, hotels, and places of public entertainment based on their religion, community, and caste. We can't stop anyone from using wells, lakes, bathing places, roads for using places dedicated for public use. We can't stop anyone based on their religion, caste, creed, community, birthplace, language, etc. Second general provision is Article 29. Remember these article numbers and the content of them. This is important while writing down the answers to these questions. According to Article 29, if a person living in any part of India holds his own language, script, or culture, he has the right to preserve that language, script, or culture. If a person will not be refused admission on the basis of religion, caste, language to any institutions run and maintained with the financial help from the government. That means any institution which has been maintained with the help of government will not stop any person from entering and using the facility based on his religion, community, caste, gender, even gender, or birthplace, or language, or race, or anything. These are the general provisions. They are applicable to each and every person in the whole nation, those who are the citizens of India. Then there are certain special provisions only for the purpose of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. According to Article 46 of the Directive Principles of the State Policy, a state would take care of the educational, social, and economic interest of the backward class. So, if there are any backward classes, that is SC and STs in the state, or even OBCs, other backward classes, then their educational policy, social, and economic interest will be taken care of by the state. That is Article 46. Then Article 16(4). If the state government feels that the backward classes are not represented properly in the parliament, then they have the right to provide reservation for jobs and appointments. According to Article 330, 332, and 334, some seats in Legislative Assembly and Parliament are reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. But in Rajya Sabha, there is no such reservation. Only in the Legislative Assembly and the Parliament such seats are reserved for SC and ST. Seats are reserved for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in Gram Panchayat and municipality. During the independence period, hostels have been opened and a scheme has been launched to offer scholarship for children. Counseling and training classes for competitive exams have been started. Residential schools have been set up. Minimum requirement of age, fees, and qualifications have been relaxed for candidates of SC and STs in the case of government jobs. Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar organization felicitates those persons who work for social understanding and upliftment of weaker sections of the population, their transportation, potentiality, justice, and human dignity. Also, there is a separate division in the state, and special officer is appointed at the central level for the welfare and protection of the interest of these people. National Commission is formed at the central level for these people. Along with it, various schemes have been started for social, educational, and economical development of these people by state and central government. So, my dear students, today's tutorial I will end here. This will be the first part of the 20th chapter. Next time, I will come with the second part of this chapter, the second tutorial. In that, we will cover some specific provisions for SC and specific provisions for ST. Apart from that, we will also discuss the terrorism in India and in abroad, the rebellion, the Naxalite movements, and the terrorism in Kashmir and effects of terrorism. So these topics we will discuss in our next tutorial. In this tutorial, we have discussed the topics of communalism. What is communalism? How can it be reduced or removed? What is casteism? uh, how casteism has spread, what can we do against casteism, who are the minorities and what can we do for the minorities, the special scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, who are the part of these SC and ST, and which are the general and special provisions for SC and ST. These are the topics which we discussed in this tutorial. I hope you like this. uh, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe to my video. I also upload videos on statistics for 11th 12th commerce students in English medium. uh, if you have not watched my previous videos, you can just go to the playlist of this video and you can find the remaining chapters of the social science subject. If you have liked the content here, please give me a thumbs up, and if you have any feedback, comment it in the below box. Thank you very much, and I will see you next time.